to ensure what we call, as Darnay, this very leading scholar in methodology too, leading researcher in methodology, he said that we have to ensure what we call research qualities across the research process. Basically, depending on the nature of the study, we have sometimes to talk about validity, reliability. When it is a quantitative study, and when it is qualitative study, we talk about credibility, we talk about dependability, criticality. So the terminology differs from the two types of research. So we have to ensure this. Generally, there is a wrong belief that we ensure this only when it comes to collect data or when we analyze data. Rather, we have to ensure all these qualities from the very early stage of research process until the last stage. Now, because of time, I want to take a long time talking about these issues in this introduction. I go straight forward to my presentation. My presentation, and the title is Understanding and Using Thematic Analysis in Teaching and Learning Research, Insights and Critical Review. My focus is on one stage within the research process. What is it? It is data analysis. Of course, data analysis generally comes at the end of the research study, not at the end, before the end, because the end is to report your findings. Before you report findings, you have to conduct data analysis process. Of course, before that stage, there is data collection, and I go backward. I start from the very beginning, which is formulating problem, develop a literature review, identifying the aims and the research question, formulating research questions, the research hypotheses, and then selecting the methodology for your study. By the way, this is for novice researchers, doctoral students. When it comes to select your methodology, do not relegate. This is another wrong belief, wrong idea. Do not limit your methodology to the data collection method, i.e., do not limit it only to the tool or the instrument, because very often when we talk about methodology, we talk about the questionnaire, we talk about the interview. Methodology is not the questionnaire. Methodology is not only the questionnaire, is not only the interview. Methodology, we should have a holistic perspective, which means that we should regard methodology in terms of research framework. And that framework spans from the very philosophical underpinning to the very concrete level. So this is another topic we can discuss about. The aim of the methodology is to conduct your study, collect data, analyze data. Now I arrive to the stage of analyzing data. What is a wrong practice committed by many novice researchers? It's when it comes to analyzing data, they do it, sometimes they do it and they forget to justify their choices regarding the choice of the data collection procedures, the research methods. And they do it not in a systematic way. And they do it somehow superficially. That's why for many supervisors, I address supervisors, usually when we examine doctoral thesis or master dissertation, when it comes to the part of analysis, we feel that it is done it's superficial. It's not really grounded. It's not something that is, the choices are not justified. So my presentation is about this, in this part. And when talking about data analysis, very often we have now three types of analysis. We have the qualitative data analysis, quantitative data analysis, and the combination, the mixed methods data analysis. I'm focusing in this presentation on what we call qualitative data analysis. Of course, quantitative also is very important, is very challenging. But I believe that qualitative data analysis, or what we refer to it in the literature QDA, the QDA, is very challenging. So in this, I just want to give hints about what qualitative data analysis is, what are the main qualitative data analysis procedures, what we should consider, and then I will focus on one very popular, let's say popular method, that is the thematic method. I anticipate why I have chosen the thematic analysis, this method, simply because according to scholars, according to qualitative researchers, this method is the easiest one. And it can be applied with different, because when we talk about qualitative research, within qualitative research, the spectrum is very wide. It's not limited like quantitative studies. In quantitative study, you have variables you have to test, you have to measure, whether it's intervention, experimentation, correlation. So it's clear. It's well framed. But qualitative research, in its nature, it's very wide. It even transgresses to concern not only one area, educational research, applied language, but also civilization, literature. So it's very wide. Within this qualitative research, we may have different designs. We can have grounded theory, phenomenology, we have the longitudinal research, actual research, we can have narrative research, we can have feminism. So based on these differences in different designs, we may opt for different methods, proceed. So what is good within thematic analysis? It can be applied within all these research. This is according to the literature that is available. So now when we talk about first data analysis, what is data analysis? It is an orderly, systematic, and complex stage that requires careful planification and execution. It denotes the process of cleaning, transforming, and processing raw data with the goal of extracting actionable information. I read, and whenever there is a need to explain, I explain. The stage of data analysis becomes more challenging with qualitative data analysis, with what we refer to, as I have said so far, the QDA. Qualitative data analysis is challenging. Why it is challenging? QDA. It's challenging because research is not homogeneous. What do you mean by it's not homogeneous? It means not homogeneous implies qualitative researchers are diverse. What do you mean by qualitative researchers are diverse? Qualitative researchers are diverse because they employ different epistemological assumptions, philosophical underpinnings, research design strategies, action plans, data collection methods, tools, instruments, data analysis procedures, methods and procedures in order to answer their research questions. But despite these differences, qualitative researchers face common challenges. What are these common challenges? Qualitative researchers, this is one of the main challenges of qualitative research, is that they generate an enormous amount of free-form data. That means the amount of data gathered when we conduct qualitative research is very enormous. Okay? Second, organizing cabinets full of objects and hundreds of, if not thousands of pages of qualitative data is not easy. Sometimes, I just give an example regarding this second challenge. Sometimes when you conduct an interview and when you transcribe the interview, you may, for one interviewee, you may write hundreds, tens, sometimes hundreds of pages. This is to show you the big amount of data when we conduct qualitative research. The examination of large volumes of data requires, here, there is an important requirement. What is it? It is to be very ordered and systematic and what we refer here, orderly system of analysis that focuses on answering the study's research questions. It is only how we can achieve this, to be systematic, to be ordered, and to be scientific when we conduct qualitative data analysis. How we can achieve this? It's through intelligent analysis that scientific conclusions can be drawn from the volumes of, again, the enormous data and the immense data that are collected during the qualitative research study. To recapitulate, regarding both qualitative research and qualitative data analysis, to recapitulate, we can say qualitative research is designed to understand the perspectives and experiences of individual groups. Qualitative research emphasizes meaning and interpretation. There is meaning and interpretation, words, not numbers, not numerals. Qualitative research aims to generate hypotheses or theories. It's mainly the design that is concerned with grounded theory. Qualitative research acknowledges researchers' role and bias. within qualitative research, there is more subjectivity compared to quantitative research. Here we talk, generally we refer to this concept, the researcher's positionality, the researcher's reflexivity, etc. Now, qualitative data analysis is also challenging because there is a need to ensure important methodological requirements, which is realizing rigor. To realize rigor, I will skip because of time. I skip and just summarize. If realizing rigor in quantitative research does not pose any problems, realizing rigor in qualitative research is very challenging. To enhance rigor, qualitative researchers should consider the following requirements. I just skip and tell you what are the main requirements. Credibility, which is equivalent in quantitative research to internal validity. Transferability, external validity in quantitative research. Consistency, dependability, reliability in quantitative research, the equivalent concept term. Confirmability, neutrality, which is the equivalent term in quantitative research is objectivity. What are the main strategies to enhance trustworthiness and rigor within qualitative research? We have many techniques: triangulation, peer debriefing, member checking, and prolonged engagement. Motives of this presentation. I skip it. Now, what are the main research questions that I have raised regarding this presentation? What is thematic analysis to qualitative data? How to engage in thematic analysis? What are the advantages of thematic analysis? Very simple questions. How about the main disadvantages of thematic analysis? This is a simple description. The aim is to highlight this method that can be realized through intelligent organization and analysis of rich qualitative data. Now, in this presentation, as methodological procedure, I've followed what we call the George's model. George's model is based on eight steps. Number one, identifying the topic of the research, formulating the research questions, deciding on the research plan. The research used one database to determine the research resources, namely using Google Scholar. The fifth procedure in this model, George's model, was determining the research articles as sources. I have used so many articles. The sixth procedure was reading the resources. It's obvious. The seventh procedure was gaining insights from the sources. And the final procedure, the eighth one, was elaborating the insights into the arguments to create comprehensible information to answer the research questions. What I was talking about, it was the methodology that I adopted in this research question. Now I go and I try to okay, I go ahead, I continue. So what is the thematic analysis? Thematic analysis seeks to understand experiences, thoughts, or behaviors across a data set. Thematic analysis entails searching across a data set to identify, analyze, and report repeated patterns. Thematic analysis is a method for describing data. It involves interpretation in the process of selecting codes and defining themes. By the way, this method was elicited by Brown and Clark in 2006 in a very seminal paper titled Using Thematic Analysis in Psychology. I advise you to read it. Now, the core of thematic analysis are the 6 stages that any researcher, when using this method, should follow. Number 1, it is familiarizing yourself with your data, transcribing data, reading and rereading this data, and noting down initial ideas. Stage 2, generating initial codes, coding interesting features in a systematic way across the entire data set, collating codes relevant to each code, and stage 3, searching for themes, collating codes into potential themes, gathering all data relevant to each potential themes. Stage 4, reviewing themes, check if the themes work in relation to the coded extracts. Defining and naming themes, ongoing analysis to refine the specifics of each theme. Overall, when we talk about thematic analysis, the core is coding, to code manually or using softwares, and to generate themes from, and here we have different types of coding, inductive coding, deductive coding, inductive and deductive coding. So all this should, any researcher should be knowledgeable enough about these things so that he can ensure the methodological requirements when we adopt this method. Overall, when it comes to to finish, the advantages of thematic analysis: first, it is flexible, it is easy and quick, it is accessible to researchers, it can easily summarize key features of a big amount of data, it can offer the researcher a thick description. Thick description is the core of qualitative research analysis, all right? But there are some disadvantages. There are some opponents who think that there are some weaknesses regarding this method. It's mainly because sometimes for some novice researchers it is difficult to make specific guidelines. Sometimes it has a limited interpretative power, sometimes for some opponents of this method, and some other opponents believe that it is a method that is not grounded, that does not rely on a theoretical framework. Overall, I wanted to talk more about the thematic analysis, but because of time, I provided you some hints. It's up to especially novice researchers to read about it and get informed more about it. So to conclude this presentation, I can say this presentation has provided a brief overview on qualitative research and qualitative data analysis. It has attempted to present and describe one of the most practical data analysis methods, which is the thematic analysis. Our advice to our colleague researchers, be it novice or experienced researchers, it is to dig deep down in the literature on this method in order to get more informed about how to apply it and when there is a need to opt for it. To conclude also, I refer to Immanuel Kant, who said in one of his statements, science is organized knowledge, science is organized knowledge, wisdom is organized life. As Kant suggests, science is organized knowledge for qualitative research, then qualitative researchers have a special challenge because of the nebulous nature of their raw data. A great deal of knowledge and wisdom is enmeshed in the stories of open-ended interviews, field observations, pictures, and artifacts collected by qualitative researchers. But, how can these data be organized and analyzed to create scientifically acceptable conclusion? The answer is, number one, coherent and well-elucidated strategies are required to produce defensible results from free-form qualitative data. The science of qualitative research depends on the intelligent organization and analysis of rich and complex qualitative data without the time-tested statistical tools that dominate the world of quantitative research. I'm sorry for taking time and not saying everything. Again, thank you for the invitation. And thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much, Professor, and welcome again to Béjaïa. We come back to Professor Hamoudi. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes?
It depends on the engineer, the technician.
We are going to see, yes.